The Toa have defeated the evil Skull Grinder. Beneath the ancient city, the protectors discover 6 elemental creatures. Umarak the Hunter is attempting to trap these creatures. The Toa must gain new powers in order to unite with the creatures and defeat Umarak. This is Bionicle Week 3, United for Battle. Day 5, Lewa, Uniter of Jungle, and Uxar, Creature of Jungle.
Hello, this is Sanat here, and welcome back to Bionicle Week 3, United for Battle. Today I'll be taking a look at Lewa, Uniter of Jungle, and Uxar, Creature of Jungle. These two are the jungle-based Bionicles for 2016, and surprisingly, Uxar can fly. Almost as if Lewa had air powers at some point, and someone said jungle powers, and now he's jungle instead of air. Anyways, let's take a look at Uxar. Here we have set number 71300, Uxar, Creature of Jungle. First things first, here is his trap, and you can see that there's a little eyeball, these little vine things, and some arms, and he's got this cool like chain on it, which is really neat, because it kind of ties into another character. As you can see, it's got the standard opening, closing jaws of doom, which is pretty neat. I like the vine look, very jungle-based, really neat overall. Taking a look at Uxar, some may draw similarities between him and Iker because they're both winged creatures. While Iker had claws, he is nothing but claws. He's got these talons, very similar to the pieces on the Toa Master Lewa. This one is really cool because he's got 4, so he can kind of balance himself like this, and he looks really cool. Articulation-wise, double joint in the head. The head also features 3 different horns, with these being movable. The legs are double jointed here, single jointed here, and on the back you can see his function where he lifts his tail and his wings go back. Sounds kind of like Iker, not gonna lie. But where he's different from Iker is that he has these pieces here, which, okay, Iker has the same idea. But he actually has individually articulated smaller wings that do have the ability to bend in and out, which is really cool, and allows for some more dynamic type posing with Uxar. So, really neat. Unfortunately, the wings are really heavy, so the gears can't always support it, as you'll see if I just have the wings all splayed out like this, and I just set them up, and I like, oh yeah, Uxar, and then they just kind of droop. That's my only complaint, really. Overall, he is really cool. I'd say almost cool enough to buy 2 of them. There's a reason. We'll get to it later. Set number 71305, Lewa, Uniter of Jungle, is actually one of the smallest sets, at only having 79 pieces. In fact, yeah, Uxar has 89 pieces. Lewa only has 79. So he's 10 parts less than his little buddy counterpart. But how is he? Well, he is something. On the first look of this guy, you might think his arms look kind of stumpy. It's because they do look stumpy. Let's get to that first. The biggest problem here is that the arm shoulder bits are super far in. They're so recessed that there's these green pieces on top of them. Top of that, this is not a very long connection. Tahu uses this as a shoulder. Lewa uses it as an upper arm. And then you have the normal sized arm here, so it looks very short. Not to mention this panel overlapping with that panel just makes everything look too concise. Other than that, his articulation, neck, shoulders, elbows, wrists, hips, knees, ankles. Knees are kind of interesting. We'll get to that in a second. And of course, waist with the geared function. One of the most interesting parts of Lewa's build was his knees, as they have this hand-type piece, plus one of these single ball joints. Really odd connection there. Overall, though, articulation can allow him to dance like this, because he can, yeah. Okay, anyways, let's talk about his weaponry. His weaponry features 2 blades, and they flip around like this, which is pretty cool. It's kind of weird that he's holding Bow-Rock eyes, kind of like daggers, but you got that going on. He's definitely unique. And of course, on the top here, looking at the mask, you can see there is this convenient symbol on the top of his forehead and on his chest. And this simple symbol happens to match something from the original Bionicle series, way back in 2002, when they introduced Lewa Nuva and his Nuva symbol, which is the same symbol. Really cool how they keep putting these on here, and I wonder what the reason is. And that's pretty much all there is to Lewa. You can swap out his mask, of course, for a golden one, which I think looks a little bit better than his regular one, because it's gold and trans green. This guy features very little trans green. It's only in these Bow-Rock eyepieces, in his chest, on his legs, and on his arms, and the head, but trans green. Very much fits with how there was no transparent pieces anywhere on Lewa, Master of Jungle. Overall, really glad to have the head clearance here. Lewa Master of Jungle was really thin, except for these giant things, so instead we don't have those, which is really cool. And overall, looks pretty good. Gotta say, Lewa Uniter of Jungle made a good transition from Lewa Master of Jungle. Pretty neat overall, but of course we are not done with Lewa or Uxar. They must unite. And of course, two become one, and Lewa and Uxar become united. Very simply with a simple connection here, and a helmet that comes down here. And this looks pretty dang cool. These wings are really nice. It really beefs up Lewa's look. Also, you can adjust these if you want the shoulder pieces to resemble Lewa Masters. And if you want to fold these in too, you could. I kind of like these splayed out and those kind of locking him down, even though he is solidly connected with the uniter peg. But really cool looking combo here. I gotta say, Uxar provides a great backpack function for anybody he attaches to, because, you know, you could seemingly attach him to anybody. But looks really nice with Lewa here. Much like with Gali, the gold and trans green just doesn't really fit much else, but the green and silver matches the green, trans green, and silver here. So, I think this looks a little better even with color scheme wise. I know canon wise it's probably supposed to be with the gold mask, but that looks cooler. Really cool combination overall. A lot of posing options, especially with the wings, and pretty stable overall. And that is Lewa, Uniter of Jungle, and Uxar, Creature of Jungle. Maybe Lewa should be called Uniter of Air, since he can fly now, with wings. Anyways, that is all for today on Bionicle Week 3. I would definitely recommend Lewa and Uxar. More importantly, Uxar. I feel like Uxar is almost better than Lewa. Lewa is a little lacking in parts and functionality to be really fantastic. But he is still a very good set, and better than all the Toa from last year. So there's that. And stay tuned for tomorrow, because we'll be taking a look at the final Toa for Bionicle 2016, Pohatu, Uniter of Stone, and Katar, Creature of Stone. So stay tuned for that, and until next time, this is Sanat saying goodbye.